Hey, Shalom, blessings. Brother Paul here, disciple of Christ, D to the O to the C. And got another video here. Last video I did, I was addressing the Hebrew Israelites and posing a question that had been revealed to me. And I got some comments on it from some of these Hebrew Israelites. And some of them, it was obvious they didn't even listen to what I said. Because one of the first things, and I'm going to make the same disclaimer, some sects of Hebrew Israelism don't believe in the Messiah or don't believe that Christ was divine. They're Tanakh only. They don't believe in the Gospels, the New Testament. If that's you, this video is not for you because we're clearly not in agreement on anything. You're antichrists. Bible says if you deny Yeshua, if you deny Jesus, you're an antichrist. So I pray that you repent from that and that you come to Christ because he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through Jesus Christ. And that goes for Muslims, Jews, anyone else who rejects the Messiah. Anyway, I'm digressing. For those of you, Hebrew Israelites that do believe in Jesus, do believe he's divine, okay, so some of you said it was irrelevant or, the fact that Jesus didn't have a human father doesn't matter. So the king of Israel doesn't have to have a human father to be an Israelite, but everyone else does, or they can't be part of Israel. That's the stance that many of you take. So I wanted to respond to that. And again, the words of the Messiah himself, because, Yeshua, who came to bring the last revelation, to call the lost sheep of Israel, he never once spoke about Esau or Edomites. He warned us about the devil, about evil, sin. He called us to repent from our sin, return to the old paths. He never, this whole crap about Esau and Edomites, I personally believe reading scriptures, that stuff's all been fulfilled because it's never been spoken of again. You can't even identify who an Edomite is. First of all, it's not the white man. White man descends from Japheth. If you know your genealogy in the Bible, Esau was Jacob's brother. He was a Shemite, whether you like it or not. So had nothing to do with Japheth, nothing to do with the white man. And even so, there's been so much mixing. You can't even tell who Israel is today because they've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. And I would argue that the same is true of Esau. And Esau wasn't condemned forever. Esau was being condemned for what they were doing to Jacob or Israel. But again, like any nation, like any wicked sinner, if you repent, turn from your sin, and enter into the Most High's covenant, you're no longer condemned of the sins of your fathers or your ancestors. So, but again, I want to speak on Yeshua, because he is the king, he is Yahweh manifest in the flesh. What did he teach? Well, one thing he said, you shall know them by their fruits. So he was talking about believers, true believers. He didn't say you'll know them by their father or from their bloodline. Again, I'm not saying that there isn't a promise for Israel, because there is. Even Paul spoke of this, that he's an Israelite and from the tribe of Benjamin, and that Yahweh doesn't he keeps his promises. But the promise isn't just on bloodline alone. Israel was chosen to be priests among the nations, but they still have to repent from sin from everyone else. They have to leave idolatry. They have to obey the commandments. They have to accept Yeshua. Just being born a blood Israelite doesn't save you if you're not obeying the Most High and living for him. This is why the Most High sent Paul out to the Gentiles. He even says clearly in the Old Testament that, he would make Israel jealous through the Gentiles, because he regards Israel as his bride. He's compared as a husband many times in the Bible. And like any husband, it's like, hey, I've been good to you as a wife. I've shown you mercy. I've adorned you with beautiful things. And then you go and commit spiritual adultery and fornication with the gods of other nations. So they're like, okay, you don't realize how good I am to you. I'm going to send you, into multiple captivities and punishment, so you realize how good you are. And on top of that, because Israel was stiff-necked and still didn't get it after multiple transgressions, So you know what? I'm going to open the doors of the stranger. I'm going to let them in and treat them as sons and daughters. And Isaiah 56 says, I'll give the sons of the stranger who join themselves to me, unto me, rooms better than of sons and daughters. Because let's face it, as sons and daughters, you were raised with the Most High. They had him in their lives, but for someone from another nation to come in, not knowing Yahweh, but seeking his face, this is a great honor to the Most High. But anyway, again, I'm digressing. I want to go to Matthew 12, and this is recorded in the Gospel of Mark as well. But we see Yeshua, it says, while he talked to people, starting at verse 46, while he yet talked to people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak to him. Then one said to him, behold, thy mother and brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered, Yeshua answered and said unto them, who is my mother? And who are my brethren? He stretched forth his hands towards his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother, my sister, and mother. He didn't say anything about bloodline. He didn't say, oh, those who are the children of Israel, because all those people were Israelites there. No. His brethren were those who do the will of his Father in heaven. So you Israelites who claim that you're keeping the commandments, are you really keeping the commandments? If you're standing on street corners slandering people, if you're not being the priest that you've been called to be priest to the nations, a light to the nation, to draw men to the Most High, if you're out there condemning people and denying the kingdom to other nations, you're not doing what you've been called to do, and you need to repent if you truly are Israel, as you claim to be. So, as Yeshua said, you'll know them by their fruit. And it's right here who his brothers are. Nothing to do with the blood that runs through their veins, but the spirit that's in them and in their hearts and in their minds. So you can refute this if you want. That's up to you. That's between you and the Most High. But the truth is the truth, and only the truth can set you free. So blessings to you all. Come to Jesus, and be blessed. In the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, I'm Brother Paul, a.k.a. Doc. Until next time, and I've got another one coming out for you Hebrew Israelites. Watch out for it. Top 10 reasons or top 10 fallacies of the Hebrew Israelite movement. I was part of this movement for 12 years, and I'm pissed off that I was lied to and deceived, and I'm not letting other brothers and sisters get deceived the way I've been deceived. So I'm coming out with the top 10 false doctrines of the Hebrew Israelites. Shalom. Blessings.